A disgraced former prince is retreating to the quiet countryside.
Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is understood to have moved from his Windsor mansion to the Sandringham estate, following pressure over his ties with Jeffrey Epstein.
But not all of his neighbours are happy about his arrival.
Everyone's talking about Prince Andrew leaving Royal Lodge. The headline is simple: a disgraced royal gets moved on. But the real story isn't the address change at all. It's what happened when he showed up at Sandringham, and the people who normally keep royal life running smoothly were reportedly told they could simply say, no, not him. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 things. First, how Royal Lodge became more than a home, almost a protective bunker. Second, why the money questions got loud enough for MPs to start demanding answers. And later in this video, we'll get into the part the palace can't control as easily, the American pressure, and why just staying quiet may not be an option forever. Because when a royal falls, the fall isn't one big moment. It's a series of doors that stop opening. Here's the detail that changes the mood of this entire story. Andrew didn't just move, reportedly arrived somewhere where service is no longer guaranteed. According to reporting relayed by People, a source claimed Sandringham staff were told they don't have to serve Andrew or work for him if they feel uncomfortable, and that there was already quite a list opting out. Just sit with that for a second. Royal life is built on choreography, doors opened before you reach them, problems handled before you hear about them. So when staff are allegedly given permission to step back, that's not a minor staffing issue. That's a social verdict. And it raises the first question that matters. If the household is allowed to refuse him, what does that say about how the wider institution now sees him? Because the palace doesn't usually speak in emotion, it speaks in systems. And this system just changed. Most people think Royal Lodge was just where Andrew lived, but by the end it had become something else, a symbol. The BBC literally describes the Royal Lodge lease as having become symbolic of wider issues, privilege, transparency, and public money optics. And then, in October 2025, Buckingham Palace went unusually direct. The official statement didn't just hint at disapproval. It announced a formal process to remove his style, titles, and honours, and it said, "Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease." That's not family gossip. That's institutional force. And notice how it's written almost like the monarchy is drawing a line between Andrew the individual and the crown as a concept. The statement explicitly adds sympathy for victims and survivors. So here's the open loop. Why did the palace decide the moment for full formal censure had arrived? Because the next layer is where it starts getting uncomfortable. If you want to understand why this became so explosive, follow the part everyone tries to avoid: the money and the lease. On 29 October 2025, the Public Accounts Committee raised concerns about whether the Royal Lodge lease was achieving best value for money. BBC reporting says Andrew took a 75-year lease and paid significant amounts up front, over £8 million, in various payments and renovations, effectively buying himself out of future rent obligations based on a notional rent figure. Here's what that meant in real life. Whether it was technically permissible or not, it looked like a man no longer doing public royal work was still protected by an arrangement most ordinary people could never dream of. And that's when royal scandal stops being tabloids. It becomes governance. Once MPs start asking questions, the monarchy doesn't just worry about reputation, it worries about precedent. And when precedent is threatened, moves happen. The BBC reports Andrew moved out on the Monday night, relocating to the Sandringham estate. Now, I'm going to be careful with wording here. People reports The Sun's framing that he left under the cover of night to avoid humiliation. That specific motivation is reported as a source claim, not an official fact. But what is clear is the mood around visibility. The BBC notes he was seen in Windsor riding on horseback near Royal Lodge, and later photographed driving away, waving, images that were poorly received by the palace. And that's revealing, because it suggests something simple. They weren't just moving him. They were trying to reduce the spectacle. Yet even in that moment, he was still being seen. So the question becomes, what changed that made the palace want the move done, and done decisively? BBC suggests the latest Epstein file fallout appeared to speed up the departure, and suddenly the destination matters. Andrew's new base, at least for now, is Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. Wood Farm isn't just smaller, it carries a different energy. BBC reporting states Sandringham is privately owned by the King, and the King will pay the costs of Andrew's new home. It's also believed he will ultimately live at Marsh Farm once renovations finish. So on paper, this looks like duty of care. The family doesn't abandon him, but it relocates him. And the BBC even spells out that logic sources close to the royal family say there's still a personal duty of care even while sanctioning poor judgment. But then you look at what's reportedly happening around him, and you realise why this doesn't feel like a fresh start. Because a home can be funded, a reputation can't. This is where the story stops being about Andrew's choices and becomes about everyone else's. According to People, there's a reported long list of staffers refusing to serve him at Sandringham, with the claim they were told they don't have to work for him if uncomfortable. Whether you see that as compassion for staff or a humiliation for Andrew, the impact is the same. Royal life depends on people accepting the role. If the role itself becomes morally uncomfortable, the system hesitates. And that hesitation is contagious, because once staff can refuse, it normalizes refusal. Press refuses to soften, invitations refuse to come, and eventually you get to the arena the palace can't stage manage law and politics. BBC reports pressure building for Andrew to give evidence in the US, and it quotes Prime Minister Keir Starmer, saying anyone with information should be prepared to share it, in whatever form. And palace sources, according to the BBC, framed it sharply: providing testimony is now a matter for Andrew and his conscience. That wording is loaded. Conscience is what you say when you can't compel someone, but you want the public to notice if they refuse. The conversation breaks down the legal reality. US subpoena power generally doesn't extend to foreign nationals, and while mutual legal assistance treaty routes exist in theory, the UK can refuse for public policy or national security reasons. So you end up with a strange standoff. He may not be legally forced, but reputationally, every refusal becomes another headline. And remember what we opened with: doors stop opening. This is a door the palace can't hold open for him. What stands out across all of this is the pattern. When a royal becomes too damaging to be visible, the institution doesn't argue in public. It rearranges the map. A formal palace statement changes what he's called. A parliamentary committee starts asking how the deal ever looked acceptable. A move happens at night. And at the new home, staff reportedly feel empowered to step away. So here are the two questions I can't shake, and I want to hear what you think. Do you believe this is the monarchy finally drawing a hard moral boundary, or simply protecting itself the only way it knows how? And if the US pressure keeps building, does Andrew stay quietly contained at Sandringham, or does the next phase force him back into public view? If you want, watch my next breakdown on how royal relocations have been used as damage control for decades, different scandals, same survival instinct. And if you don't want to miss the next twist in this one, subscribe for the follow-up.